don't have a whole lot of remarks other than some of the stuff that's on the agenda, so I don't want to steal Don's thunder, but as you see, the pickleball court stuff is nearing completion. They have to wait for that to be cured long enough to put the top on it. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on, pursuing some of your task list quick as we can, so.
I guess. Where's Kit? I thought you were handling this. Kit's hiding down there. I went by and I talked to Sonic, asked him if it was okay, talked to the local manager. They said yes, they got approval from corporate. I don't have anything in writing, but they said, yeah, that's fine if that's what you guys want to do. So I know Kit's been working hard on getting some different concepts, different types of benches and plaques, and we did budget next year for $5,000 for that. She only got pricing, I believe, on one of the benches so far. So, but we just kind of wanted some direction on you guys on your thoughts of what style of a bench would you like. We still need to get with TxDOT, make sure it's going to be okay with them. Once we choose the bench and everything, then we'll go to TxDOT and we'll go back to Sonic and make sure we get something in writing saying it's okay to do that. Go ahead.
Well, in my heart, it's always been a desire to have benches along Old Betsy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wonder if we want to take into consideration the fact that we could eventually put benches along there. And so do we want this to stand out, which is fine, or do we want it to blend in? So I think we need to think about that.
My thought would be blend in with plaque.
Mm-hmm. With the plaque. And so, in some places, you know, in parks and cities, you see benches, but each bench has been sponsored by somebody who has a plaque there in memorial, and perhaps the city would do that eventually too.
I mean, looking through the north gate bench with arch back on page 5. Pretty.
Yeah.
It's right into the, wouldn't stick out, it would be part of the.
Yeah, so this would, like you said, that's a great observation. This would pretty much set precedents.
Mm-hmm.
So for anything else we added along the ways.
And teak is all wonderful and nice, but it is more higher maintenance too.
The wrought iron, black wrought iron would also match our signs we have, the flags.
Yes.
And we are setting precedent, that's kind of the look that would be clean all the way down the highway.
When you talk to TxDOT, is it possible to get some verbal approval to do a dozen of these along the walkway?
Yes, yeah, we can have that conversation
A
with
plan,
them.
you know, and then we could maybe let the community know, maybe they do want to sponsor one for their family or something. And this particular one we're going to sponsor would be for that gentleman at Sonic.
Right. Makes sense.
I do have a meeting scheduled with them next week regarding the crosswalk there.
That would be great, yeah.
So I can add this to the agenda.
And this doesn't include the footing or whatever we have to put down, the
Right,
pad that we have
right,
to
that
put
would
it
be
in.
additional, but it shouldn't be too much.
But do we have to go very deep to make sure it stays secure?
I'm not an expert on that, but
Okay, somebody will tell us.
the cost shouldn't be too astronomical.
I'd like to make a motion that we direct staff to look into the possibility of purchasing the bench, like on page number 5, the Northgate bench with the arch back and maybe even a trash can, and for the concrete not to exceed $3,000 for that project.
Not a motion. Second.
I'll second.
Any more discussion about that?
Well, do we have to also choose the plaque?
Can the plaque come later? I mean, we may not even
Yeah.
know what we want to have on the plaque.
Yeah, I don't think it has to come today.
Okay.
I just bought a plaque online at a company that was really nice. I can tell you more about it later, but they were really good.
All those in favor? Mayor, you abstaining or?
I'm not
aware of which item you're talking
Okay,
That's
no,
okay, 5A.
page 5,
about. Page 5.
green treetops products.
Okay.
Talking about a memorial bench for the gentleman that died at
And
Sonic.
what are we gonna do, and who is Matthew Davis
Matthew Davis is a gentleman that was killed at Sonic.
at Sonic? Okay.
And this board is wanting to sponsor a little memorial for him there, and we're gonna put a bench, maybe a trash can and a little plaque or something. And that we
Okay.
wanna spend up to $3,000 to do that.
Okay,
And the bench we like is on page 5. It's a wrought iron black one that kinda matches our signs that are down the road.
yeah, are they, and this is gonna be in the park somewhere, just one bench and,
Well, as you were coming in, I was asking him if maybe we could, when he meets TxDOT, talk about maybe a plan to put a few of them along the way and allow the community maybe sponsor one for their family if they wanted to or something, and put a plaque there for them and they could pay for it.
oh, a long old bench.
Like, let's say 10 of them or 12 of them or something like that, along the sidewalk somewhere.
This one would be out in front of Sonic.
Okay. Yep,
Oh,
All right, so it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, number 6, or B, receive, discuss, and give direction to city staff regarding the repair and replacement of the Ellis Carver Park entrance sign. Who's that one?
what does it take to just put the letters back that are there?
I probably have to get a hold of somebody like Lee Products or somebody that can make something that's very similar to that. Or do we just, I mean, my opinion, it's kind of hard to read, especially even the exit sign, just
Yeah.
because of the font that they used. So maybe we should look at replacing the whole sign,
A different font and bigger,
a different font, maybe a different color.
color,
That's not a big deal.
different
but
color.
Right now, if you drive up and you look at where it says exit, it's kind of hard to read what it actually says.
What color is it? Is it bronze? Was it supposed to be gold? Is it, what
It's-
is it?
They're painted black.
They're painted black, which is the
with-
same color.
Against a dark green, I believe, background.
What if we just took it down and we put a sign up somewhere that said the park and the name of it and the hours and all that stuff?
are
Well-
those letters bolted on?
I think they're tack welded on
So somebody
the-
had a little work to do to get it down?
to the screen. This just like a
Yeah.
mesh screen that's welded onto the framework.
And do we have the, these guys with plasma cutters can cut that letter again for you exactly like it
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah, we don't
know
know
what
what,
that would cost us as opposed to just tearing it all down, starting over?
no, I don't have an idea at this time.
And that would be the simplest route, just go to like Lee's Welding and ask them to come give us a price on cutting one out and,
Or take a picture of it and give them the
Mm-hmm.
dimensions?
Yeah, and get them the dimensions of the other letters and,
I have a friend that cuts these Texas things out for me, like I put on my hose reel outside the house with state of Texas with a star on it.
is that a motion?
Well, Tim,
It was a little bit of emotion.
I will entertain a motion then that we get somebody to come out and cut us, letters to finish out the sign and get it put back up. And a second on that,
I'll second that.
second from Mr. Beeson, any more discussion?
So now we're voting on, the motion is to,
Repair the sign.
yeah, if it can be repaired, if you can do that, well, repair it.
All right, all those in favor? And it is unanimous. Honestly, we can't get that thing repaired with someone like that. C, receive an update, discussion, give direction to staff on the pickleball court project. So what did they do here to add, what added all the square footage?
When we originally talked, when Troy was here, he was the so-called pickleball expert. You know, it was 2 courts this way, 1 this way, and that's the way it is right now.
Right.
And then when we went out for bids, I was talking to not only Kevin, the other guys that came out and gave us bids as well. They're like, well, you can fit 3 courts this way, save a little bit, make the concrete a little bit smaller, still have room for your seating. But then when we designed it, and that's the way Kevin did that, was to do it that way. Well, then we laid it all out, and then Troy came out and he said, no, that's not gonna work because the sun is gonna be in your eyes in the morning and the afternoon. That's why he wanted the courts the other way. So we went back to that design. Kevin tried to make it work with, you know, the money that was there, but it ended up being a little bit bigger, concrete-wise, just because of the way it's laid out now.
So how are they laid out? How are they laid
Yeah,
out?
how are they laid out?
So there's gonna be 2 courts closest to the pavilion.
Running
And there's-
parallel with the road?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's gonna be a seating area, and then in the far corner, the northeast corner, will be another
Running the
court,
same direction.
the same direction. That way the sun won't be in your eyes, but it did add a little bit more concrete square footage, as you see on his proposal there. And he still hasn't done the sidewalk to it yet. But everything else is done, the gates are up, excuse me, the fence is up. I think he said he had about 90% of the material in to start painting, so hopefully they can start doing that pretty quick.
Does that include the benches as well, or whatever, the seating area?
There is gonna be a nice area there for that, but that wasn't budgeted, it was just for the courts itself.
And then the 2 courts with the seating area, if I hit a ball and it goes out of my court, is it gonna go into the other court, or is there a fence there to stop it going to the 3rd court, or?
No, there's no fencing between the courts.
Okay.
But I'm not a pickleball guy, but those balls are just wiffle balls, they don't really travel that far, not like a tennis ball
they
or
travel.
baseball does.
When
They won't
you,
travel on the highway, but they'll travel in the other court.
No.
when we make changes like this to the way they had, because somebody's gonna be looking into the sun, does that come back to this group, or does somebody else just say, okay, let's do it that way?
It was kind of he had it all laid out and ready to go, and spur of the moment, he had the concrete pretty much ordered and rebar and all that stuff, so I said, just go ahead and do it. At the time, he thought he could do it and not go over budget, but because of the layout and the drop-off that was there, he couldn't do it. So I made that decision.
It would have ruined the course though if you'd been going into the sun.
Yeah, so just to give you a little bit of backstory on Troy, why Troy, he was kind of our resident local pickleball, I guess self-proclaimed expert, haven't seen him, but anyway.
Getting very-
So I did give him the, US pickleball, whatever, manual. Say, here, since you're into this, if you'll be our liaison and make sure we're doing this the right way, I want to be able to host tournaments if we, no sense in spending all this money without it being some official spec, right? And so, he was kind of our liaison, like, that's why we were kind of listening to him originally. Hey, if you do this, if you turn these, and again, we thought we could do that in budget, but, that's kind of how that came about, so.
I think here a week or two, be done.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, he already has the nets and everything, mainly it's just the time for the concrete to cure and everything coming in.
It'll be really interesting to see how that works, whether we'll have to preserve it or not, because I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of people, early especially,
Right.
that are out there.
So who's doing the nets and all that stuff? It's not Kevin, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, he's doing
Oh,
the whole
Kevin?
thing. Yes.
He's a concrete guy.
Yeah, and this one, he's a
He
GC.
did it.
He has
He's
helpers, subcontractors that
subcontractor.
help him with fencing, and they already got the poles or the post holes in the ground for the nets, so it's
Yeah.
all in the concrete already. It's a matter of just go stick the nets in the ground once it's all painted.
See, I don't know why we, let's see, if this committee votes to do that a certain way and lay out, and then nobody talks to us, they just decide to do it some way different.
In
How does that work?
all honesty, we didn't give him any direction on which way to put it. We just approved the funds to put it.
But didn't he give us a layout of the way it was gonna be or
I
something?
don't even remember that.
I think I gave some drawings on what,
Was there 4 of them there originally, 4 courts originally?
No.
no, it was
we were
only,
always
there were-
just doing three.
because of the water line, there's no way to get 4 in there. We couldn't cover up the water line that runs along in between us and TxDOT. But I did give you kind of the conceptual, I guess, design of the way Troy had envisioned it and laid it out, and then a rough estimate on what it may cost. And then talking with the contractors, we went out and they said, well, let's do it this way, and we can do it for this price. Not thinking about the sun or anything being in your eyes.
Could I ask you something? Have you verified the footage? Have you measured it?
Not physically.
Can we do that before we pay the final invoice to make sure, I mean, if we're getting charged by the foot,
Sure,
uh,
can do that.
do we have to approve this additional funds tonight, or have you not received an invoice yet, or is it just his?
This is just, I wanted to let you guys know this is what happened, and
Yeah, we have to approve it, it's just information.
But to Gary's point, we really it should have come as an item, we should have had a change order to do this. And it really isn't according to Hoyle. For us to just, I don't think we can, I mean, I think we have to make a change to our budget, right? Mr.
right,
Williams?
we can do a change order through
Okay.
him and all that. Like I said, when he first did it and Troy came over and we kind of changed the layout, he thought he could do it for that price, but it ended up,
But now we're sort of stuck with it.
Well, I'm for one, I'm happy that we.
I mean,
didn't-
I don't wanna
I'm for one,
cheat him
happy
out of
we
his
didn't
money.
pull it down there wrong.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
We were doing it regardless.
Right,
Got it fixed.
yes,
I mean,
and
we
it's
take care of it on our
done
end.
right now,
I mean, if it was another 50, 60,000, I would have an issue, but
yeah.
yes.
the guy comes in and says, hey, it's not gonna be done right. I mean, if we'd had a meeting soon, but I would've hated to have
Delayed it.
pushed it back a month to try to get it figured out.
Right.
Did we ever get with TxDOT about getting the lights for the pickleball?
That would be United Cooperative, right?
It'd be United Co-op.
United
Oh,
Co-op.
United Co-op, that's right.
Are there poles there to light this, or
No, I don't think they're
at
any.
night?
There's power source right there by the restroom.
So if
I
we
just
wanted
haven't
to
had a
light
chance.
them, well, then we'd have to come back and start all over with some plan to do that and finance it.
They put the last lighting up. I think they just charged us the monthly fee like a street light, and they didn't charge us anything to do those poles or lights.
Oh, you're
United
talking about
Co-op.
the power company doing streetlights?
Correct. That's what they did on the
Co-op.
basketball courts.
It's co-op.
They're floodlights.
Do you
They-
get enough out of a,
They're floodlights, they're like a,
oh, not a 400-watt halide or
yeah, I
something?
mean, they're the ones like that are on the basketball courts.
Okay,
United Cooperative put those
Yeah.
up for us and only charged us like a security light fee.
oh, okay,
Like $9.
Yeah, they kinda did us a favor
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
it's not very much. It's
Did we,
$10
talk,
a month per light.
since you're talking about the basketball court, do you need a light on the other end?
We could kinda use some light on the other end of the basketball
Yeah.
court.
It,
Kind of gets dark down there.
Yeah, it does.
I've not been down there to play on it, but just driving by, it kind of looks
Mm-hmm.
dark down on that end.
yeah.
We can look into that, sure.
Thanks,
Nobody's complained about it.
Yeah,
I think.
and
it
I'm
would
not
be good, though.
complaining either. I don't want to throw pickle
No,
juice on
we
it.
just complained right there.
But just because they're not complaining, doesn't mean we shouldn't make it
Yeah.
world class, if we can.
Because that's where we're gonna put an additional bench, right, on that side?
I'm not sure.
There's some concrete poured for like maybe eventually like a little covered area with some benches to the east of it, like where the sidewalk is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Have we thought about covering those things yet in the hot summertime?
The
We could do like Donnie did. Donnie's built a nice covered place down there.
the basketball courts?
Yeah,
Oh, shoot. Let's move on.
jesting with you. Got a new place to stack hay now, next door to me.
There you go, yeah.
All right, moving on to D. You had a chance to look through the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to accept them.
Sorry, they were submitted, a correction was submitted during the week after I posted. So what you have in your packet shows those corrections in the call to order. I had used a previous template, so that was corrected. And then also at the adjournment, I added the time the meeting ended. So the motion would have to be to approve the minutes with corrections.
I cannot find it. I was looking.
Entertain a motion for the minutes.
Move to approve?
Motion, thought we said goodbye last month. But we're glad you're still here.
Sure enough.
Charles, you wanna give us the,
Yeah,
no He one's is here.
arguing.
how did we get you to stay
Yeah,
around
that's
this long?
it's a surprise.
I just love it here.
That's good,
I really do.
yeah. We can get you a house here too, so you can do this easier.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to a couple of you, both of your boards about that. Good afternoon, President and B Board. Good to be back again. This is for the month of August.
Sir, sorry.
Some,
Sorry, Mr. Williams. We removed August off the agenda to allow your department time for the budget. So really, all we have to approve are the financials that you presented at the last meeting.
oh, what?
That's it. So
Maze.
that's all we have to do is the May, June, July. And then the August minutes, or August financials will be presented next month. Yes.
Make it easy.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
we
goodness.
looked at it, we looked at these every month, didn't we?
Yes.
You did look at them. I just provided them again as a refresher.
Okay. So we've already looked through these, talked with Charles about those, so to get a motion in a second, we have to discuss if we have any.
So we are just approving what?
May, June, and July.
May, June, and July.
And remind me again, why did we approve them in May and June?
Because the agenda had said EDCA on it, and so we went ahead with the presentation, but did not take the approval to accept.
Right.
I need motions, so we can discuss it.
So moved.
Motion second? Now we'll discuss, anything we'll discuss the last 3 months? So, page 20, Charles, we have 576,000 in our money market.
That's right.
I do want to, as chairman, encourage us to remember that we're not taxpayers' savings account. And we need to, we've taken this money from taxpayer, we need to utilize it for the betterment of the community as soon as possible, not, unless we have something in mind that's big, we need to be, that's what we're talking about with those benches. I mean, it's $1,000 a bench. We've got the money to put in 10 to 12 and then allow people to put a plaque on there for $400 or $500 if we want to down the road.
Get text dot approval, let's do it.
You talk about the Matthew Davis thing.
You go ahead, we could go ahead and buy what we wanted, once TxDOT approves it, and then offer the community, hey, you wanna make this in memory of your mom or dad, and $400 with a plaque on there or something.
Yeah, there's an economy of scale there while we're pouring the concrete footings. There might-
Yeah, it's true.
Cause I know all the parades would be awesome.
Yeah. And we can put the footings in the highway right away, is that what?
That's what we're gonna check.
He's got a meeting.
Oh,
Got to find out.
usually if it's towards the edge, they don't care too much.
All right, I got a motion and a second on the budget we've already looked at the past months, all those in favor? All right, unanimous. Anything for executive, don't do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
See you
now-
next month.
Yes. So now, on the future agenda items, now we really can technically talk about
Okay.
those benches. I would like for us to look into go ahead and seeing if we can do 12, maybe go ahead and purchase those, do the economy of scale, getting those done, then come up with a program that allows people to do them in memory after we've already put them out.
Now this one, this is all metal, right? No wood in it?
Correct, it's wrought iron.
Yeah, it's
Or
got wood in them, that rots out pretty quick.
Would you want the trash cans with each bench?
I like it, but then who's going to change the trash out? I don't know, I mean, like, Like I had trash cans outside at some of my businesses, and I had to take them away because people would just fill them with stuff you never imagine what they put in
You
there.
got a point, 'cause we put trash can, we're gonna have somebody come around and empty it often,
Yeah.
unless the city's gonna do that. I will make them take it with them.
I mean, I like the idea of a trash can, but who would empty the trash cans? The person who does the park? I guess they would make a round and it could be done, I guess, right?
Yeah, we'd have to just figure that out.
Yeah. I like the idea of a trash can.
Maybe a trash can for 2 or 3. Is that every one? I don't know how close they would be, I don't know how long that stretch is.
What's
Yeah.
it, 1,200?
How big a
2,000?
platform would you pour concrete for to put one of those down? Anybody come up with a design or anything for?
No, not yet. I know Kit's been kind of talking to a couple of the vendors on some of that stuff. And as far as the trash cans go, I know we've looked at those similar to the park, and they're about $1,000 a piece.
And then
Oh,
you have
dang.
to extend it on one side a little bit to put the trash can down on the concrete.
Right.
Are those benches in the park holding up?
Most of them are still pretty good shape.
You know, that was a gift from the Optimist Club. See, history gets lost with you young people.
Young. Thank you, sir.
Yes, the Optimist Club gave all those benches.
Is that the same club that helped pay for the pavilion, or is that a different club?
Well, the Pessimists took over,
Okay, there we go.
and the Optimist Club went away.
So how are the trees doing off the subdivision? I saw watermills there.
See 'em watering the trees.
Are they living good?
Yes, there's only one that I think may have some issues, and when he put that in, he kind of got it that way, and so he was gonna keep an eye on it and see if it didn't survive, and he would fix that one.
I would also like a future agenda item, I'd like us to look at what the lighting would be at the end of the basketball court and the football court.
Okay, I'll reach out to United Co-op, get with their engineer, and
Did we take action on the pocket park and parking and fencing? I noticed, I wasn't here last month, but we did get a quote, on the concrete, correct?
yes, I got a quote, I just looked at it a little while ago.
Yeah, I saw it right in here too in the minutes, like
Yeah.
18,000 or something.
Right, that was 50 by something with a culvert going under it, because there's a bar ditch that runs down to the drain, and it would be very similar to what they did in front of, on Hillcrest there, 5 parking spaces and maybe a little gate that, so that way we have a way to drive in there to maintain it when we need to, and for the future.
Did the board take action on that or not? No?
No, not at this point.
I was surprised it wasn't on
We-
here.
Yeah, maybe in the future agenda, put it on there, give us something at least to look at and vote on.
Yeah, and we still need to figure out what, once we do the parking, what are we doing with the park itself? So I know, there's been different ideas thrown around, but that's something that really needs to, I guess, go out to the public in a social media blast. What would you like to see, and give them options and come back and kind of go from there.
And what do we do about the skate park? I know we had some bids last month. What did we do on that as far as?
Well, I was gonna look into, talking to another company besides the one I've already talked to. And I think it was Daniel that had the idea, or you guys came up with the idea of maybe pouring the concrete first, starting out small and maybe expanding instead of trying to do it. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
That was in our master plan from many years back to develop 3 pocket parks besides the big park. And it was, the thought was there would be a place where mothers could push their babies in the stroller and maybe have swings and stuff like that for pocket parks. And so far, this is the only one we have.
Well, I'd like to just have a sidewalk or a path around the whole thing, so that everybody could just go in there and walk. If you're talking about
Mhm.
kids, and eventually you have to put.
Well, I think if we can get a sidewalk to the public schools, I think they're gonna create a pretty nice little place down there. It might be considered a park in our community.
We're planning on putting a half-mile trail around that property, that 8 acres, hopefully fairly soon. Where people can go out and walk half a mile at a time.
But on the item of sidewalks, we had mentioned about getting the engineering cost, or what it would cost to get the sidewalk to Fairview or maybe to College or something like that.
They're working.
I know you poured some more concrete, I can see that was done.
Yeah, we had 20-something thousand left in the sidewalk budget, and we used the last of it to go, excuse me, up 4th Street, almost to Fairview.
Looks good, the kids are over there walking.
So I guess this board is asking, what does it cost to continue that? So we have,
I thought if we connected all the parks,
yeah,
then we could use our money to do the sidewalks by connecting the parks. Wouldn't that
I'll have to
be-
get clarification from our legal team
I think that was actually
on some of
true.
that.
What, is it within the jurisdiction of the 4B board to do sidewalks like what we were doing? We got a grant. Didn't we get a grant for some of that down there?
I think we have to adopt a sidewalk master plan.
And we've done.
We've got a drawing for you somewhere.
Before you were here.
I think it has to be adopted, and if it does connect, I think it's,
If it connects parks and it's, then you can get or use Texas Wildlife Department grant funds to do that. But if it doesn't connect parks, then you can't use the grant funds to do that.
So do we have to hire a grant writer then?
We were already talking to one, I thought.
I thought we did, yeah.
we have, let's see, last council, approved for us to apply for the grant that will allow us to do that. And we
Right.
should have a pretty good chance of getting that grant. Once we get that grant, that will include the development of our, parks and
Master plan,
plans,
all that
sidewalk
stuff,
master plan.
updating
Two
our
other
comprehensive.
plans we need for grants. So, it's a grant to write the plan to get us grants. Government at its best.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a sidewalk all the way out to the new development on 805?
Oh, yeah, but it'd be nice to have the
Yeah.
expanded and worked on.
Oh, Betsy, it'd be a great place from the university gym on,
All the way down to the park?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And we,
but that's gonna take a retaining wall, I believe.
well,
In some places.
find out how much it
If you
costs.
do it on the east side.
We talked about before partnering with university, because I know you can partner with universities to get the Parks and Wildlife money and put in a sidewalk on their side with a long-term
If-
agreement.
If, as long as they dedicate it as park land.
Correct.
Then you can, yes.
And
Oh.
that actually, serves as part of the in-kind contribution
Correct.
that helps us a lot, get that grant. So it is an important piece of the puzzle.
So how do we get this going?
If the university.
Oh, it's going.
It would be in kind,
Yes.
and wouldn't that would be for them too, so wouldn't they be
Yeah,
motivated?
kind of a win-win.
I know there's not much room, those sidewalks don't have much room to go in. But today I was driving down in one of the houses about 2 blocks from the school. Just, they're parking right across the drive, right
I
across
saw
the sidewalk.
that, and I got to think about, everybody has these big, long pickups, is it going to go across the sidewalk?
And one, you had to get back out of the road to get around it. I think it was a double car, pulling behind somebody.
Right.
Well, Paul Knott would like a sidewalk along there because he's getting tired of walking on that slope, putting flags in the ground and taking them out. It is kind of tough on that side.
You can contribute to it. He can contribute to the sidewalk fund.
Get Paul Knott. in the
Be this
chamber.
Paul Knott Sidewalk Fund.
Okay, put his name on it.
Yes, sir.
Give some money.
Well, he's not here today to defend himself,
That's
he went
right.
on vacation.
So we just make a motion that he does it. You get in Montana or something like that.
Yes.
So what do you have on our future agenda item list over there?
Let's see.
She ran out of room.
The 12 benches, approval from Tech Stop, donations for the plaques for people who want to perhaps dedicate them, lighting for pickleball and basketball courts, then pocket parking, and a sidewalk from the park to the school,
And more info on the skate park.
and more on the skate.
Go ahead and throw in, pricing for seating with pickleball court with all that.
What kind of seating do you want? I mean,
Make a proposal. Well,
You
I
just
thought
want-
we were, I mean, if
Couple
we're
row
putting,
stadium
Yeah.
seating would be probably all we need.
You don't think like a picnic table or anything like that?
Not inside the courts.
Yeah, I don't know how much room.
This would be inside the fence.
Well, once it gets it painted in the next week or so, we can kind of take a better look at it and see the layout.
Did we ever approve or go forward with any kind of seating or shade sails over at the basketball court? We've talked about that before. That was never.
Did- Go ahead.
Well, we've got a big long list.
Did you have on there, these are things for future meetings?
Yes, sir.
Now, you said lighting at the pickleball court. Did you say anything about the basketball court?
And the
Yes, sir.
basketball
Okay.
court, yes, sir. With the seating for the playfields from last meeting, I think we were going to look for quotes and kind of like what we did with memorial benches, bring back some options and pricing.
Okay, good.
That's where that's at.
Thank you.
Move to adjourn.
All right, got a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All right, thank you, guys.
So how are you doing, Donnie?
Doing-
I saw your truck over there the other day, and I was mowing. I said,